Hi everyone, Petrik here. In today's video, I'll be talking about my September TBR. Yeah, it is time to talk about all the books that I want to read next month. Of course, just like always, I plan to read about 7 or 8 books. And by the way, because next month is September, in a few days, this means that I will be doing this channel for 3 years. Yeah, it's almost my 3 years anniversary of having my Booktube channel. It sounds very insane. I cannot believe that I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. For 3 years, I have posted more than 300 videos on my YouTube channel. That's, again, surreal. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who keep on supporting my channel. It is only because of your views, your comments, and your support that I can continue doing this. And with that in mind, because they want to once again continue supporting my ongoing project to promote fantasy and sci-fi literature, today's video is sponsored by Brilliant. Brilliant.org has a focus on making sure everyone can learn or study something new despite how busy they are, anywhere and anytime, on your phone, tablet, or computer in bite-sized lessons. It is the best way to interactively learn math, science engineering, computer science, and data science and analysis. And whatever your skill level, Brilliant customized content to fit your needs and let you solve at your own pace. I am a reader interested in data and analysis, hence why I find Data Analysis Fundamentals course to be beneficial. Within a few quick lessons, you get to analyze real data. This can be reading statistics and draw interesting conclusions from it. It has also been proven that interactive learning is 6 times more effective than passive learning. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, free, for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/PetrikLeo or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Thank you so much to brilliant.org for sponsoring today's video. Now let's go back to talking about all the books that I want to read next month. And not gonna lie, because this month, in the month of August, I read To Green Angel Tower by Ted Williams, which I love. I really love that book. But that book is massive. It took me 18 days to read that book alone. So because of that, a lot of my reading pile in the month of August will have to shift to next month. And there are probably about 3 or 4 of them that I plan to read and finish next month. And the first one is once again Esrahaddon by Michael J. Sullivan. This one keeps getting postponed, and I promise that this will be the first book that I read in the month of September. This is the 3rd and final book in the Rise and Fall trilogy, and also this, as Sullivan himself said, will be a culmination of every book that he has written in the world of Elan. That includes the series Rhyria Revelations, Rhyria Chronicles, Legends of the First Empire, and also, well, the Rise and Fall trilogy. And I'm very excited to finally read this. And yes, this time I will make sure Esrahaddon will be the first book that I read in the month of September, and that will definitely make Esrahaddon disappear from my TBR pile. Again, I'm excited to read this. Many people have told me that this is one of Michael J. Sullivan's best books. And another book on my August TBR pile that will have to move to September is Talonsister by Jan Williams. This is the newest adult fantasy book by Jan Williams. It has been quite a while since Jan Williams wrote a new fantasy novel, and I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm a huge fan of the Winnowing Flame trilogy by her, and it feels great to finally be able to read a new fantasy book by her. And I heard this one have some intelligent griffin, and you know, from the Winnowing Flame trilogy, I totally understand just how good Jan Williams at writing good characters and also great animal companions. And on top of that, I still remember the incredible battle scenes, especially the aerial battle scenes that I witnessed in the Winnowing Flame trilogy. I expect I will see that again in the Talonsister. And yes, I will read Talonsister most likely after Esrahaddon, because Talonsister is actually being released next month, in the month of September. And the next book that I want to finish is again the final reread of the year for me. Most likely the final book that I will reread in the year 2023, and that is The Mirror's Truth by Michael R. Fletcher. The 3rd and final book in the Manifest Delusion series, an incredible grimdark fantasy series, is being released in the month of September. And of course, because it has been like 7 years or 6 years since I read The Mirror's Truth and also Beyond Redemption, but I already did a reread of Beyond Redemption, So I of course have to do a second read of The Mirror's Truth as well to refresh my memory and connection with the world and characters before I dive into War 2 and all. And I'm pretty excited about this. Manifest Delusion is one of my favorite grimdark fantasy series, and some of you have asked me to do an updated favorite grimdark fantasy series ranking list, and I think I will do that after I finish reading Manifest Delusion this year. So probably in the month of October or in November, we will see. But that's the plan right now. So yeah, I will do a second read of The Mirror's Truth in the month of September as well. And finally, as I said, this month, the next book that I want to read is again The Path of Daggers by Robert Jordan. This is the 8th book in the Wheel of Time series, and I know this is a part of the slog installments in the Wheel of Time. And again, I will not make any promises that I will be able to read and finish this one within the month of September. I plan to read about 1 or 2 chapters per day, and then I guess we will see whether I can actually achieve that or not. But if not, I think I will try to finish this one the latest in the month of October. That's my plan anyway, but I guess we will just have to find out just how bad this goes for me, because some people said that it's much better than A Crown of Swords, but some people said that it's much worse. It's like a mixed opinions. I look forward to finding out which side I will fall into. So the previous 4 books that I just mentioned, all of them are part of my August TBR, but for the next 4, for the remaining 4 books in my TBR pile for the month of September, all of them are new reads. And the first one will be Ascendant by Michael R. Miller. Yeah, this is the first book in the Songs of Chaos series, a progression Dragon Rider epic fantasy series. I haven't read this one. This was already in my TBR pile in the month of May or June, I think, but I couldn't get around to it. But this time I can really feel my reading mood for this one is really strong right now. So I will make sure to read Ascendant in the month of September. And also I have caught up with all the books by Ryan Cahill, including the newest novella, The Ice, which I will talk about in my monthly wrap-up next month. But because I have caught up with Dragon Mage, all the books in the Echo Saga by Philip C. Quantrill, and also every book in the Bound and the Broken so far, I think it is time for me to dive into my next Dragon Rider epic fantasy, and I have chosen The Songs of Chaos by Michael R. Miller. And for those of you who want to know more about this book, this is the premise. Holt Cook was never meant to be a Dragon Rider. He has always served the Order Hall of the Crack dutifully, keeping their kitchen pots clean, until he discovers a dark secret. Dragons do not tolerate weakness among their kin, killing the young they deem flawed. Moved by pity, Holt defies the order, rescues a doomed egg, and vows to protect the blind dragon within. But the scourge is rising. Undead hordes roam the land, spreading the blight and leaving destruction in their wake. The Dragon Riders are being slaughtered, and betrayal lurks in the shadows. Holt has one chance to survive. He must cultivate the mysterious power of his dragon's magical core, a unique energy which may tip the balance in the battles to come, and prove to the world that a servant is worthy after all. I think that premise sounds really good to me. I always love underdog and coming of age story, and it seems like this one will have a great relationship between the Dragon Rider and the dragon. I mean, of course, because this is Dragon Rider epic fantasy, right? But there is something about this blurb that really caught my attention, the word cultivate. The word cultivate is usually only found in progression fantasy, and I think it will be interesting to find out how Michael R. Miller implement this into Dragon Rider epic fantasy. Definitely looking forward to reading and reviewing this book in the month of September. As for the next book that I want to read next month, it will be Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Skyward series. I am in the middle of reading Skyward right now, and I think I will be done with it before the month ends. So I think it should be good for me to tackle this one within the month of September. I heard from many people that this one is not as good as Skyward, and I even heard that Cytonic, the third book in the series, is the worst of the entire Skyward series. So I think that shows a sign of decreasing quality from Skyward to Cytonic so far. I hope that will be the case for me, but again, I usually click with Brandon Sanderson's work, so I look forward to reading this one next month. And for the next book, the time has finally arrived. All of you have been requesting me to read and review this series for such a long time, and it has been really difficult for me to postpone reading this series for a long time. And I think many of you who have been following my channel will know which sci-fi book I'm talking about here. And yes, you might have guessed correctly, it is the Sun Eater series by Christopher Ruocchio. So Empire of Silence by Christopher Ruocchio will be read by me in the month of September. Yeah, this will be the first time I read the Sun Eater series, and many of you who know my reading taste have practically mentioned that this is a series that I will absolutely love. And because I have caught up with all the books in the Red Rising saga, it is time for me to tackle the next big space opera that I want to read, and it is of course the Sun Eater series by Christopher Ruocchio. I heard this one should be suitable to those who love Dune, the Kingkiller Chronicle, and also framing narrative. And I'm a fan of framing narrative very much. James S. A. Corey, the authors of The Expanse, have also mentioned this is one of the most epic science fantasy they have ever read. And I think that is a very sounding endorsement. Plus, Mike's book review and pretty much all booktubers I know who read the Sun Eater series, all of them endorse this highly. This is pretty much a booktube favorites. So yeah, I look forward to reading and reviewing Empire of Silence in the month of September. Now, let's see whether I will end up loving this one or feeling disappointed by it, because out of all the books that I've been recommended throughout the past 7 years of reviewing books, I don't think any other series have been recommended to me as highly and as frequently as the Sun Eater series by Christopher Ruocchio. But again, I will make sure to try to temper my expectations before diving into this one next month. But again, pretty excited as well. I think those 7s will be my priority books in the month of September. I don't know whether I will still have the time before the month ends, but if I still have the time to read one more book, I will be reading The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. As you can tell, I am kinda in the mood of sci-fi lately. I think it is because of Red Rising Saga, and yeah, because I've been kinda neglecting the sci-fi genre compared to fantasy for quite a while lately, and it is odd because sci-fi is actually one of my favorite genre to read. So I think the mood for it has really sparked, and I assume this will go on to the end of the year. But then again, I heard so many wonderful things about Simon Jimenez books, whether it's The Vanished Birds or The Spear Cuts Through Water. Both of them have been gifted to me by Evie, great booktuber. And again, thank you so much, Evie, for sending me The Vanished Birds and also The Spear Cuts Through Water. If I cannot fit this into my schedule within the month of September, then I will put this one in the month of October. But this one should be an intimate and also character-driven space opera novel, standalone novel, so that's a plus for me. I'm always on the lookout for a great standalone fantasy or sci-fi novel. So I think that's pretty much it. That's all the books that I want to read in the month of September. I don't know which manga I'm going to tackle yet. I guess I'll just have to find out what my reading mood decides to read next month. But let me know what you think about the books that I want to read in the month of September, and which one on my list here that you have read, which one that you haven't read, and which one do you think I will really like. So yeah, that's it from me today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.